if you already have good health care, then maybe his agenda is radical. If you are already wealthy, then maybe his agenda is too radical. If you are guaranteed clean water, clean food, and clean air, then maybe his agenda is too radical. Come on, somebody. If you believe that in the wealthiest nation on the face of the earth, that it is okay to bail out Wall Street and leave Main Street high and dry, then maybe his agenda is too radical. But if you are like the rest of us, that you are...
that we preserve our systems is by transitioning to principles of universality. That means I want you clothed, I want you educated, I want you paid a living wage, no ifs, ands, or buts. And what that also means, and what Naomi talked about as well, is directly, consciously combating white supremacy in the United States of America. For the life of me, cannot understand why we get so panicked about terrorist activity all over the world, and we don't seem to recognize it in our own backyard.
We need to clear away the debris of the climate change deniers who are still out there, soaked in fossil fuel money, spreading doubt and misinformation in this moment when we cannot afford that. We need a movement that burns bright and hot enough to clear away that debris. And we also need a movement that burns bright and hot enough to burn away the debris of the distractors. All of this distraction coming at us, telling us that everything is more important than this, telling us that we should just follow whatever Trump's latest tweet is, or whatever the latest celebrity gossip is, or whatever it is. We need to clear away the debris of the distractors. I believe that we all know on a cellular level that there is something deeply wrong with our common home. And that is spreading a profound sense of insecurity that is now being exploited by the right? And they are offering their toxic so-called solutions. We will protect you against the other, against the drug dealer, against the rapist, against the criminal, against the invader, Do we think it is a coincidence that these two fires are raging at the same time? It is not.
And I don't know about you, but I refuse and reject and absolutely will not accept the choice I refuse to accept the choice of leaving a planet that is diminished and dying to the next generation. I want to talk about this a little bit, because when we first introduced the Green New Deal, we talk about frontline communities. We talk about bringing it straight to communities that were left behind, rural communities, poor communities, Flint, the South Bronx, Baltimore. We talk about putting these communities first, and one of the first things that we heard from folks is just worry about the solar panels. Leave the social justice stuff behind. Always. And it's funny how that's always the case. We're always telling people, and somehow the big consultants are always telling you, race makes everything complicated. Or talking about poverty makes everything complicated. It was almost a taboo word to talk about poverty in Washington, D.C.
It is part of the same phenomenon. And as these strong men turn their populations against each other, that frees them up for the real business at hand, which is pillaging the last remaining protected wildernesses on this planet, from the Amazon to the Arctic. That's what they want to do. That's what they're about. All right. I don't know if I'm out of time. I'm just going to end with a little bit more fire for you guys, okay? Now, the kind of fire that we need to find in ourselves is not the fires of destruction and annihilation that we have seen in California, that we have seen in the Amazon, these fires that leave scorched earth behind. Fire is also a life-giving force. And for millennia, indigenous people have used fire to clear away debris, to clear away dead wood and make room for new growth. And the fire clears away the debris and the ash feeds the soil. And it prevents those wildfires that are so destructive. And that is the kind of fire that we need to locate in ourselves so that we can truly be in this moment. We need to clear away whatever debris is standing in our way, is keeping us from being in this fight with everything that we have, because everything is on the line. And we need to clear away the debris on the outside.